All right, so by the end of this video, you will know how to connect your large language model directly to your retail voice agent so that it becomes easier to make updates to the agent and continue to train it over time. You're going to need three things in order to make this happen. First, you're going to need to download Claude Desktop. So that's going to be this right here. You're also going to need your Retell AI API key. You can get that with your retail account. So if I go over to my retail account in settings, API keys, and then the third thing you're going to need is the GitHub repository that you can see right here. And I'm going to have this URL linked in the description so that you can follow along or have access to it. All right, so the instructions for this are all within this repo here. So if you scroll down, we're using, just to provide some context, the Retell AI MCP server. So MCPs, which are short for Model Context Protocol, you can think of them like AI, like plugins for your AI agents. So in this case, we're going to be connecting the Claude large language model using this MCP server, this plugin, to the Retell AI platform. And so you'll be able to prompt within Claude to make updates to the agent, to modify the agent, to call in information that's already programmed within the agent. So now, as it says in this instructions here, you're going to go over to Claude and then you're going to add some elements to the Claude desktop config, which is a specific file that will be on your computer. So we're going to go over to Claude, and in the settings at the bottom left, we're going to click on settings, and then we're going to go down to developer. I already had this installed. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to go over it completely again for this video. So I've deleted it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click on edit config. So we have this Claude config JSON file. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up this file. And what we have to do next, we're going to go back to the repo and we're going to copy this JSON code right here, go back to the config, and we're going to paste in what was in this config file here. Next, we're going to go over and get our API key from Retell AI. And then we're going to come back, and where it says your Retell AI token, we're going to paste that in. And you want to always make sure to keep your API keys covered. You don't want anyone to see that. So you're going to exit out of Claude and restart the desktop, Claude desktop. When you have it restarted, if you go back to the settings and you look up the developer area again, you're now going to see the Retell AI MCP server there. So you see we have the Retell AI MCP server integrated. So if you go over to new chat, now when you pull up the search and tools, you'll see the Retell AI MCP server listed. And so if you click on it, you'll see all the tools that you have access to now. Everything from listing out your agents to updating your agents, even creating a phone call. All right, so what we're going to do next is I'm going to say, can you list out all my agents in Retell AI? And you're going to see it now do its magic. So you'll see it calling that MCP server, and it's showing all the agents that I have listed within my with my Retell AI platform. So just to show you, you see here, I have different demos and agents that I have here, and they should all now be listed out here. I actually think it's missing a few, but you see, notice that it even describes how some of them were programmed. Most of your agents are configured with back channel responses like, okay. All right, so what I want to say is, I believe you're missing a few of the agents that you listed out. All right, so now it's listed out all 8. And just keep in mind, especially if you're on the free Claude plan, that each prompt that you put in does use up tokens and they will rate limit you. So you want to be kind of just intentional about your prompts and what you're doing here. And so what I'm going to do is show what it looks like to update, to pull in the system prompt from Retell and then update that agent. So if I go to AI Receptionist demo, can you pull in, or let's say, can you get the system prompt for the AI Receptionist demo? So now it's pulling in how that agent was actually programmed within Retell AI. So this was a demo I'd created around just showing the capabilities of AI Receptionist that you can use for if you wanted to demo it or just see how this can look like within your business. All right, so now let's say I wanted to update this specific agent and make the demo more catered to real estate and property management. And if you were to call the agent could tell you what it would be like if someone inquired about a specific property and the response that that agent would give and what it would look like to update that agent with that with specific properties. So I have some sample properties that I have created here to paste in. I'm going to paste those in, but I'm going to first say I'd like to make some modifications to this system prompt. I have a list of properties that the agent should be able to reference. If someone calls regarding real estate or property management, I want included in the system prompt how the agent would respond for those scenarios, and the agent can choose from one of the properties to speak on as an available property. So I've attached it. I've attached a list of these are the sample properties. I literally got them off of ChatGPT, and we're going to let Claude add this in. I'm going to say the sample properties are attached. I just want you to see what it looks like to update the system prompt with the LLM, because if you know what you want to update it with, then rather than now signing into Retell all the time, you can literally just paste in what those updates are to the chat, and then it can go and do that for you. One thing to keep in mind is that the way your prompt is structured and making sure that how the way in which the agent gets updated um, is going to respond most effectively. So, creating prompt templates and having some examples for the agent to follow so that it actually formats it in a way that's going to be most effective. So, for the sake of this example, I'm just kind of showing what it looks like to update it, but I just want to kind of provide that as a caveat. So, we're going to enter that in. Then we're going to see it call that Retell API again. All right, so you see now it's adding these available properties here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it asks you at the bottom, would you like me to update this in your Retell AI agent or make any adjustments? So I'm going to say, yes, please update this in my Retell agent. And now it's updating that Retell LLM. And you can see what's going on behind the scenes right here. So it's updated it. And so if I go back to Retell, I'm going to click back in here. You can now see these 7 properties that are available to be referenced when you call this agent. All right, so you've seen an update. Now let's say I do a test call just to test the agent.
Hey there, thanks for calling. You've reached the AI receptionist. How may I help you today?
Yeah, I was calling to see how this agent works, but I've actually just got a quick question. Do you work for
Okay.
some like real estate scenarios? I'm kind of curious about what it would look like if you were giving me available properties.
Oh, absolutely. I can totally handle real estate scenarios. Want to hear how I'd walk a caller through available properties, just like if I was working at your property management office?
Yes.
Awesome. So let's say you called in asking about rentals. I'd say something like, oh, great question. Let me tell you about a few options we have available right now. Are you looking for something like a studio, a private room, or maybe a one-bedroom apartment?
Maybe
And do you have a budget in mind?
maybe a studio apartment in uh, University City, Philadelphia.
Okay, gotcha. You're looking for a studio in University City. Nice area. So, for example, we've got a studio at 3920 West Thompson Street, which is pretty close to University City. It's $1,200 a month with its own bathroom, and the deposit is also $1,200. Does that sound like it could work for you, or are you hoping?
All right, cool. So you can see it now updated here, and you can also see how you would go about updating this agent. So if you have, let's say, a spreadsheet of information or a document, you can paste it within the chat. You have the retail MCP server connected, and then you can start to make updates that way. You can also make updates in regard to other modifications you want to make to the agent. But again, I just provide the caveat that you have prompt templates, or at least a sort of formatting that you already know will work for the agent. They've gotten a lot better. Retail has made many updates in general to their infrastructure, but you still want to guide it so that it gives you the output that's going to be most effective. And you want to also take proper precautions, like saving the maybe saving the prompt, system prompt that already exists there, so that if updates are made to a prompt, that it doesn't that you're able to kind of go back to that original prompt if you know something didn't work out and you need to make changes. So taking proper precautions is also helpful. But this makes your life a hell of a lot easier, because now you can literally just type in your updates here and it'll automatically get sent to retail and modify on its own. So that's how you can go about connecting your LLM directly to retail. Any large language model platform that has MCP capabilities can do this. Claude was the first to really have this capability. Some of the AI copilots like Cursor can do it, and the other platforms seem to also be rolling it out and making it effective. But Claude is definitely the best for this. And these are the kinds of agentic workflows that can make the process of working with these AI agents and platforms that can be in different places a lot more smooth. So that's it for this video. I hope this was helpful, and I will talk to you next time.